Welcome to Millester channel. This is a channel where we discuss contemporary issues that affect our society today. And today we are going to look at the challenges facing the boy child in Kenya today. The National Gender and Equality Commission actually is a commission in Kenya that is mandated with promoting gender equality and freedom from discrimination among different genders. And this is a commission that is established by the Kenya government under the Act, and has been doing its work across Kenya. Recently, the National Gender and Equality Commission conducted assessment actually in 8 counties. That is the counties of Garissa, Kisumu, Kakamega, Kericho, Embu, Kiambu, and Kilifi. This study was basically looking at the key drivers that actually lead to exclusion of the boy child in our society as we know it today. So just before we dive into the findings of that study, I've also been, as a social observer, I've also been keen to look at the emerging trends in terms of how the boy child is growing up and even socializing in our society today. And I have to say that there is a growing trend in terms of exclusion, or even the feeling that boys are not growing to be men, and there is a gap somewhere in terms of their development. And this is leading to a number of challenges. For example, if you've been a keen observer, you'll find that there's a high school dropout rates. And if you look at this, boys are dropping out early in school more than before. And this is not something that is encouraging, given that there have been so many efforts to ensure that there is gender equity and there is actually parity in terms of participation of both boys and girls in our education system. This is something that is concerning every Kenyan. The other thing that you can observe as you live in urban areas in Kenya, you'll find that one of the things that is obtaining is that there is high crime rate, and the crime rate is really increasing. And who are the people who are involved in this? Majorly they are boys. The other, to add on top of that, we are also facing an increasing number of boys living on the streets. A casual walk just around the streets of Kisumu, you'll find that there are so many street families. Majorly they are boys who are forming groups and living together. And this is posing danger to residents and actually has led to increase even of crime in the city. In fact, recently the county government announced that they will be doing a mop-up of the streets of Kisumu to ensure that they remove all the children in the streets and engage with other agencies or related agencies to support the reintegration of these children back to their communities and even their families. So this problem of the street children is a phenomenon that is arising because there is a gap somewhere in the family system. The other thing that we are also witnessing is drugs and substance abuse. Actually, there is increase in this, and this is not just in schools. You'll find that this is a phenomenon across estates and even most urban centers in Kenya and in most parts of the country. And a casual look of who is actually involved in this, actually you'll find that they are our youths, mainly boys. Finally, there is the issue of uncertainty in the marriage setup. So as these young boys grow up, mature, come of age to marry, they have missed certain steps in life and they are not prepared. One, as we saw before, you find that quite a number of them dropped out of school early, engaged in drugs. Some of them do not have clear sources of income and engaged even in crime. And this is affecting the family setup in that they cannot sustain families. That is why you'll find that most boys or youth or young men are able to get children with the girls, but eventually they leave the girls to take the burden of raising these children alone. This is not something that is out of nowhere. Actually, the truth is these are families that first could not stay together because one, the boys or the men in this marriage setup or which is mostly come with stay setup, cannot sustain the responsibilities of marriage. So why is this the situation currently? There are so many issues affecting the family and homes in Kenya, and this is driving so many children on the streets. If we go back to the National Gender and Equality Commission report, one of the findings that they found are that the issues at family level that are driving boys to the street, and these are issues that need to be addressed. The other thing is around socialization process. How do we socialize our boys and girls? And you'll find that increasingly these boys are not being socialized in the right way, and they grow up with a gap, and this gap is manifested in adulthood. That eventually leads to broken families at the end of it all. The other thing is around social, cultural, and traditional practices and even norms. There are so many forces that are pressuring boys to ensure that they provide for the family and even are able to sustain their marriages. Some of these is not possible, and especially when they missed the education setup, the education growth in early levels. As time goes by, you'll find that the impact of this neglect of boy child is actually affecting our youth and even our young people in the society. If you go, for example, to the middle level education system, that is a tertiary level majorly, you'll find that enrollment of young men, youth, has decreased quite a lot. I took a casual walk. I took a casual data around 3 institutions of higher learning, and in basically all those institutions, I found that the ratio of boys or men to women who are enrolling for higher learning is actually in favor of women. In one institution, it was found that for every almost 5 women or girls, young women who are accessing higher education, you find that there's only 2 or at sometimes even 1 young man. And this is all translating, the results of this is actually translating even in the employment sector, where you find that, say for the higher level, at management level where representation of men is slightly higher, you find that at middle and even lower income cadres or level of employment, there are more girls than women. And even if you look at most job adverts, actually they're saying women are encouraged to apply, but but at recruitment, there seemed to be also some gap in terms of ensuring that also men get these opportunities. So something ought to be done. And what are the possible ways in which we can sort this issue? One is that there should be a strong collaboration of all key stakeholders in terms of ensuring that men, boys, and young men are able to actually access educational opportunities. Actually, there should be a deliberate approach to ensure that affirmative action programs are based on sex, even sex disaggregated data that determine which gender is most in need before these programs are even rolled out. Further, the government should invest more in terms of poverty reduction programs that focus mostly on the needy. These are approaches that I think can help. What is the role of church and even civil society organizations in this? They actually have a role in terms of creating more awareness and even strengthening the family unit. So this will go a long way in terms of ensuring that boys from family level know their place, and that place is actually secured. Further, non-state actors must initiate programs that are deliberate and target the boy child. With these approaches, I think we can make our society better. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, please take a minute or two to subscribe so that when I release a video like this, you will be notified immediately. So otherwise, I want to thank you again for taking your time to look at, to view this video. I believe that if you have any relevant contributions, we can engage on the platform. You can like the video and even contribute in terms of comments down in the comment section. Thank you very much. Until next time, goodbye.